Right, so this splendid tree behind me is on your list. This is Bombax ceiba. Bombax ceiba in Cantonese Lockney tree. So, and this magnificent tree is it's flowering. It's in full flower now, as you can see, and it's this is this is a mature specimen, but not massively old. I'm guessing it's probably about 60, 50 years old, something like that. So that's certainly not as old as the cemetery. If you come down again, I'll show you how some of the features of the tree. Right? So I know that the leaves. Now this is semi-deciduous. This tree. It loses most of its leaves in the summer. I beg your pardon, in the winter. And but I know this is looking pretty scrappy, but this is one way to recognise the leaf. The leaflets are arranged in this radial pattern, just like on the Scheffler leaf. So that's one way to recognise it. At the moment, it's in full bloom, right? And there are lots of rather scrappy flowers. But look at these. Look how fleshy those flowers are. And this is the mokmin is one of the flowers in mfa cha, right? So this is a mfa cha ingredient. And in fact, you still occasionally see elderly people collecting the flowers and drying them, right? And because they are actually edible. And on this particular flower I've got here, I very carefully washed right before doing this, which is actually an edible plant. So you can use this on salads, but I do recommend at the moment that you wash it first.
Is it nice?
Tried it.
Nice.
So, because this particular individual, is quite mature, you'll see that it does not have any kind of spikes on the trunk. The younger specimens have these funny very big spikes on the trunk of the tree to protect the tree from large grazing animals who want to scratch their bottoms on it. We'll find an example later of a younger tree. I'll show you that once the tree gets to this size, even an elephant or a mastodon can rub its thumb on this tree and it's not going to push it over. So, but the younger trees protect themselves by providing a scratching surface for very large animals. The only thing is that we have now exterminated all the elephants and the rhinoceros from this part of the world. So the trees don't know that. The trees are still producing spikes to protect themselves. But because this is a mature specimen, it doesn't have that feature. And you can see here that the roots are actually, you can see how the root is kind of growing over the edge of the channel, which indicates that the tree is much younger than the channel. The channel was here a long time before this tree reached this point of maturity. So this tree is certainly nothing like the age of the cemetery. As I say, probably 50 or 60, I'm guessing. So this species, another thing about this species which is interesting is that after these flowers, right, once these flowers are finished, they then develop into quite long seed pods, about 300 millimeters long. Right? These kind of funny, great big pods. And then the pods split open about July to release all of the seeds. Now, in this case, the seeds are distributed by the wind. So the seeds actually develop with all this kind of fluffy white fluff all over them, so that the wind can blow the seeds long distance. Right? So this is one of the ways that the plant can distribute its seeds. We've already seen with the ligustrum that one way is to bribe birds to eat your seed by producing a nice tasty fruit, and then getting the birds to go over and poop the seeds out elsewhere. Right? So the trees use the birds as agents for the seed distribution. This tree uses the wind. Now, the problem with that is that all this masses of fluffy kapok comes out all over the place. Right?
Yes.
And
looks like cotton wool.
Yeah, it is. Like there's tons of it.
Yes. It's very messy during that time. Very messy on the floor.
Yes. And in fact, the tree was grown for that kapok. The kapok before synthetic materials like nylon were developed during the war. Before then, there was a big kapok industry in Malaysia, and that's one reason the tree was brought here, to see if the kapok industry could be established here as well.
So
and that material was used to stuff cushions and seats and all kinds of things like this. The problem with the fluff is that, of course, it blows. If the tree is near a housing estate, for example, the fluff blows into the flats, and then people, some people who are allergic to it, and then they complain. Right? So now LCSD won't allow us to plant Bombax ceiba. So frustrating.
Right.
So enjoy it while it lasts. Bombax ceiba.